Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Intuitive Energy Forecast for January 12th, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Arlene Grace, an intuitive energy coach, channel, and mentor. Take whatever resonates for you, leave the rest behind, and allow your mind to be open, to allow for any activations, to allow for any ideas, beliefs to perhaps shift, to allow for yourself to be the receiver of this information because it is channeled. So it's interesting. Today's energy really precludes for me, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And the energy today is that of a one. And it is really about new beginnings, new awarenesses. It's about, perhaps seeing a new pathway that is available, a new thought, a new idea, aspiration, perhaps, or it can even be an epiphany. And that, together with the Two of Spades, which is another energy that is supporting us today, is really an invitation to reassess your relationships, whether that is a friendship, a partnership, a love relationship, a past relationship, to really take a look at, what is my thinking, what is my belief, and what is the idea that I have about that? Is life happening to me? Is it happening for me? Is it happening through me? And is it happening as me? The chicken or the egg? And so it's fascinating because I had the most extraordinary experience yesterday. Now, I'm a numerologist, and as a numerologist, I understand that we are all basically numbers, that we at our essence are a pattern. And in this pattern, we have all of these other patterns that really connect to us. We are programmed. We are programmed by the ideas of what society, the beliefs about love, the beliefs about money, what the religious constructs are, all of these things, what our parents did to us or didn't do to us, all of these ideas that we take on as our truth. And so as a numerologist, I'm really deepening my own work and understanding the numbers and the consciousness of them. And so I was calling in a number that really represents my transformational self, which is the Two of Clubs. And I was thinking about it, like, who do I know in my life that is mirroring that? Who is helping me? Because we have different people that come into our lives to help us to grow, to evolve, to shift. And that may be those that are in your family, those that mirror you. In fact, everyone that comes into your life is mirroring an aspect of you because you can't see you. And so in calling in this Two of Clubs, I got this, oh my God, it was a former lover. And so this is the energy of the month. We are moving into Mercury retrograde. We are in Venus retrograde for 42 days. So the entire month of January and a little bit onwards into February. And this is really, with the Mercury retrograde, it's a slowing down of the mind and a reassessment of your life. It's this, you may have exes come back into your life. You may have, you want to pay particular attention to your electronics. Things may slow down. This is really about communication. How we communicate in the world. You may stumble on your words. You may travel may be impeded, and you're not at the whim of it. It's simply being aware of it, right? And the same with Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde, you may be noticing in your own love relationships, your love friendships, whatever, that there is a reemergence of cycles, that things in your current relationships may be a little bit more challenging. And I'm air quoting that because there are things that you may not have seen, things that you may not have decided, things that you may not or might like, and you just want more of it. And so it feels like a slowing down within your own relationships, where with the Venus retrograde, it's almost as though the volume of love gets turned down for everyone so they can really, really, really come into an understanding of, hey, what do I want here? So as I was saying earlier, I called in the Two of Clubs and I thought, oh my God, this was an ex-lover. Like this is someone that I had been with for quite some time. And I was sitting in meditation and I was thinking about him, and I was thinking about our relationship and who I was back then. And it was, and I'm gonna, he might be listening, and so thank you. um, and it was fascinating because I was observing it from a different place. When I was in it was like a firework. Like it was destructive, and yet it was dynamic, and there was passion, and yet there was pain. There was addiction, and there was great love. Like it was such a dynamic relationship from my end anyway. And it was very destructive for me. It was one of these relationships that was full of the drama. It was full of the physical addiction. It was full of great love, and that was the confusing aspect of it, because I was connecting all of these other things to what love was, right, and that to him. And so I was at the whim of the world. I was at the whim of it. I was being thrown around like a rag doll. It was happening to me. And in the happening to me, it was a different feeling in the body. It was a different physical experience. It was quite an addiction. And I was thinking about that, and I thought, oh wow, like look at all the patterns and look at all the things, look at how our relationship really moved. And of course, when we had, ended the relationship, I had to move through the forgiveness aspect of it, and forgive him, forgive myself for all of the drama that was within there, and the lack of the indecision, right? Being thrown around by the energy of it, and the I need you to fill me in it. I need you to validate me in it, and all of these limitations in belief. And so in the forgiveness of it, it was really coming into this place of, oh my, like, I'm grateful for this experience, because this experience has taught me so much about me. Like he showed me what I wasn't seeing within me. He showed me where I didn't love me. He showed me where I didn't validate myself. He showed me where I couldn't say no, where I wasn't willing to say no, where I was wanting him to say no so that I didn't hurt, right? So that I didn't hurt his feelings because I still wanted to be loved, or where I ran away instead because I couldn't voice it. It's really full of so much, stuff, right? It's almost like a can of worms. And so coming into gratitude and letting all of those go, where now I was, life was happening for me. This relationship that I had with him was for me because I got to see me, right? And then there was this, shift in looking at it from an even higher perspective, where I could see that, it was a mirroring of still lack of love. Like it was happening through me, where he was my mirror, my exact, right? Where my exact indecision, like we were just moving through this relationship where it was, I wanted love. And so here he was, and he mirrored it. And I wanted attention. And so here he was, and he would just come in and he would mirror it. And it was this intuitive relationship where I would think of him and he would then come, right? And seeing the illusion even deeper of what I thought love was, of where I had these intricate connections of what love was when it was connected to emotions, where I had not yet even come into this place where I discovered that I am love, that love is always flowing through me, that to focus on my value, it would shift the dynamic in my relationship. And I can see that mirrored in my partner now. And life was happening through me. Like I was calling in these relationships. I was calling in him and he would come. And it was fascinating because I was letting go of the illusion. Like it was just clicking, like, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing this. And so what happened is he messaged me yesterday, and it was this, we don't connect. So it was this, hey, I had a nightmare about you and I've been resisting connecting with you. I just, I was resisting it. But I can't go back to sleep. I need to know, are you okay? And, of course I responded and I was like, yeah, I'm alive and well. I'm really well, actually. And I'm curious about the dream. And so he shared it, and it was, we were at the mall and we weren't together. We were talking. And then after we weren't together, and you were walking far ahead of me, and I was calling you, but you weren't turning around. And so I was chasing you, and I was going to people and I was saying, hey, have you seen Arlene? And the response was, Arlene doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. And so, but I could see you were ahead of me. You were just far ahead of me. And obviously you weren't hearing me. And so I was running after you, and I was chasing you, and I was asking people to stop you and to yell for you. And they were like, Arlene's not there. And you would turn a corner and I would turn the corner, and you were still ahead of me. And you would turn another corner, and I was just chasing you, and I was calling you, and I couldn't get to you. And I thought, wow. And so he was now mirroring in his own nightmare the illusion that I, hours prior, had seen the illusion of our relationship. Now, the love is there, absolutely, right? Love is always there. But the illusion that was the relationship, the illusion of who I was, and he was now mirroring that back to me, really showing me that life is happening as me, right? And so life is happening as me. Here I am, and I'm now looking at my relationship in such a different way, letting go of the illusions. And he now came to share that dream, mirroring back the illusion of what it was. Coming back into, oh, I truly, I love you, I'm connected to you. But I created that experience for me to see the resolution of it. So it really has me thinking of what came first, the chicken or the egg. So this is your invitation. This is your invitation to really notice your own relationship. Where are you in it? Whether that's with your coach, mentor, your family, your children, your lover or ex-lover, your husband, girlfriend, whatever, to notice these places where there may be these illusions, these ideas that probably don't fit who you are now. We're all in this place of awakening and shifting. And what's funny is that in this, I had the vision just prior to coming on, and this vision was of a pagoda. And I don't know if you've ever seen a pagoda, but it's a historical structure. And I want to say it's in Japan. I can just see it. And so it's in this shape, and it's engineered in such a way where it's almost like stacked boxes, one on top of another. And yeah, they are connected, but yet they are each its own. And in this beautiful structure, when a storm rolls in, or where there's an earthquake, showing me an earthquake, when an earthquake comes in, there's this rattling. And in the rattling, it doesn't break down, it stays in its form, but each one moves to adjust. So the shock is happening right at the bottom, at the base, and there's a great shock. And as it moves up, there's less shock, and there's less shock, and there's less shock. And it's transferring the energy to move it up and out. And so that's what's happening for us. There's this energy rising up through us. And imagine that you are the pagoda, right? And you are not breaking, you are shifting. And in the shift, all of these mice and these rats, they were coming out of all of the infrastructure. And all of these mice that were coming out, these rats that were coming out, were really these beliefs and these ideas that weren't you anymore. They were just simply being released, and they were released as thoughts, as ideas, as past lovers coming back, as, you know, the illusions are rising up to go so that you can come back into the truth of who you are. At the end of this, what really anchored in for me was no means no. And no means no, meaning no means no for me. That I choosing no was choosing no for me, and it was my job to act on behalf of it. It was my job to express it. It was my job to use my voice. And I think that that was the most brilliant thing that was said at the end of this conversation, which was him saying, I don't know if you know this, but I've been observing you, and it really looks like you found your voice. And in him saying that, it anchored in, oh, yeah, I think I did. And what comes with that is no means no. No inward, meaning I know what I want. And if it doesn't match, I simply say no. And it's for me to act on behalf of that, not for me to wait for them to do it. And so I'm going to invite you to reassess, because these things are being risen up and shaken out for your own transformation, for you to deepen into what is true for me. Because what you know to be true is what you will believe. What you believe is what you will see, regardless of it being true. So is life happening to you where you are at the whim of the world? Is it happening for you where you can get the perspective and come into forgiveness and gratitude? Is it happening through you where you can actually see the mirroring of, oh, I'm not triggered in a sense of it, but I'm very aware of what's happening in my relationship, where, yeah, I'm going to be triggered, but it's allowing for me to shift out of it and shift in awareness? Or is it happening as me where I can see myself the creator of this experience? It's beautiful. Awesome. Any questions, comments, please feel free to share. Any awarenesses about your own relationships, I would love to hear about. And have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.